Suicide pact with the devil.
Horrible and frightening true event that occurred in the convent of El Carmen, Atlixco, Puebla, Mexico, around the year 1600. As we have published on our social networks, True Legends of Terror, upon the arrival of the Spanish to Mexico, a series of macabre events arose that later became horror stories, such as the following. Spanish whose language grew. The following happens. One cold morning in the year 1600, a young and distinguished Spanish gentleman, named Joseph de Herrera, left his home on one of the streets of Villa de Carrion, today the city of Atlixco, to go directly to the building that housed the convent of El Carmen, to date located on Avenida de la Cuatro Norte, historic center of Atlixco, who would confess his sins to a friar from that convent, since some terrible events did not let this gentleman sleep. When he knocked on the heavy doors of the building, a doorman came out and took him directly to the pilgrim's portal, a waiting place for some faithful, asking for his confessor, who answered that the friar who would confess him had been waiting for him towards many hours, which said Spanish gentleman did not understand these words, since he had just left his home to arrive at the appointment. The doorman, impressed, replied that it was not possible, since the time he had just arrived would have been approximately after 10 at night. When this Spanish gentleman was before his confessor named Fray Anastasio, according to original data in our possession, Fray Anastasio tried to calm him down and asked what was happening to him. Said gentleman told him everything that was happening in the early mornings since, according to him, he had made a pact with the devil, which he added that he was very sorry. The terrible thing about this horrendous case is that when Joseph de Herrera began to tell him his sins, to the friar's surprise, this gentleman's tongue began to grow, making it impossible for him to continue speaking. What Fray Anastasio, with a terrified voice, shouted to his Carmelite brothers to come and help him, because what he was seeing was truly horrifying. This frightening event ended at the end of the exorcism that they performed on the confessed person, which lasted all night, and when the first rays of the sun began to rise, inside this chapel they heard with horror a roar and saw a scroll fall from the ceiling of the chapel, in which the name of Joseph de Herrera was clearly seen, and that thanks to this exorcism he had saved his soul from being taken by the devil directly to hell.
Creepy event, right?
Your lifelong friend, Jose Luis Marino R., who invites you to continue with these true horror stories.